Hello, welcome to this module on AI and its environmental costs. I do want to let you know that I am recording this in July of 2024. So there are a few ways that we can measure the environmental impacts of AI, and we can do this through a few different ways. There are few regulations on new technologies, and with that said, we can use similar technology to estimate the impact based on our known standards. So there are standards for energy consumption tracking and carbon footprint reporting, as well as resource efficiency and energy efficiency metrics, and then also water usage monitoring and water usage effectiveness. AI has impacts in several different sectors, so we're going to walk ourselves through those. The first sector here is clean water. So if you're not aware, currently the US is in a bit of a water crisis, and these data centers use a lot of water for cooling. There are serious drought conditions in most of the west coast of the US, and these large computers and servers use clean water to help cool them down. These data centers are choosing places like Nevada and Mexico, as well as Texas, to build themselves here. These areas are already dry, and we are using the water in our water tables for this purpose. AI also impacts land use, right? We've got large new building displace, which will displace wildlife habitats, farms, and other vital land usage. We're clear-cutting forests for new developments, and we're fighting for land against other farmers to be able to have food. Its electric use is vastly increasing energy consumption. These systems are constantly running, they never shut down, and this keeps retrievable fossil fuel plants online because of our increased energy needs. With this said, that gives us more smog and heat. This electric use causes more heat to become part of the environment. AI also has resource extraction issues. So where do the resources come from to be able to build the CPUs and all of the little things that go in the computer or our phones? Precious metals like cobalt and other things come from places that usually a little bit of war happening or other not good things. And then what happens to all the electronic waste? We like to think that we're able to recycle some of these electronics, but many of them just end up back in the ground and leach into our groundwater. And like I mentioned before, AI has a lot of heat. Computers put off a lot of heat. It takes a lot of water to cool them off, and it takes a lot of electricity to run. So these things do put off a lot of heat, and they don't shut off either. So there are some for and against arguments here. I'll start with our for arguments. People say that we should be able to use AI to enhance climate modeling to create more accurate predictions and simulations. So we should be using AI to fix the climate crisis, basically. We should design eco-friendly products to minimize packaging and waste, improve the renewable energy systems by optimizing placement and operation of renewable energy infrastructure. And then also, they hope that this will accelerate scientific discoveries, which could potentially lead to breakthroughs in sustainable technologies and practices. With that being said, these data centers are very costly to build and maintain. Those arguments we saw on the previous slide are considered to be a greenwashing tool. I'll talk about greenwashing in a minute. This does, again, heavily contribute to that e-waste. It causes pollution like heat and noise and takes that land away from those more productive sectors, and again, uses our drinking water. So here's our side note on greenwashing. So AI is being used to greenwash the technology itself, and greenwashing has been used by companies for a long time to convince us that their products are good. Right? I remember in the 1990s, we had all of these ads that say plastics make it possible. Well, I don't know if you've noticed lately, but there are a lot of extra plastics, and research has been coming out that says, hey, those plastics aren't great. They are in our groundwater, they are in our bodies, and these aren't great things to be happening for us right now. So companies do have a long history of giving the public misinformation on their products in order to make it seem like their products are good, and they aren't. So here's some more greenwashing examples. The one here about Bitcoin made me laugh. It is kind of funny that they think that Bitcoin mining is great for sustainability. It's not. These things, again, use a ton of power. Here in Texas, you know that the grid is under a lot of stress because of the extra AI centers. And if you're not aware, there is an IBM center in Dallas. It uses a lot of power. It helps power Watson, and a lot of people use Watson to be able to do some of their AI things. Some other things, again, saying that AI can help fight climate change, or that it's tackling other environmental challenges. But an AI analysis of these companies shows that greenwashing is rampant. And so that's really, really interesting that they used AI to show that greenwashing is a part of the problem here, especially when it comes to the environment. Recent news here, again, I'm recording this in July of 2024. So Google their greenhouse gas emissions are soaring because of their AI usage. These articles I've linked to in today's module resources, so take a look at those when you have a minute. But it really does discuss these other aspects of AI and the environment. There are some legislation happening around the world, and it's possible that these things might help in the long term, but there is some aspects that need to be looked at in the short term, because these things are being these things are using a lot of land and water resources. Lastly, I do want to say that I borrowed a lot of this resource and a lot of the slides here from a talk given to other librarians here in the States. So if this is something you're interested in, I can link to that other video as well. I hope you just take the time to reflect on the energy uses and the things that are happening here with AI, and why it might be slightly problematic for us.